So, getting your business online. So why do you need to be online? Some of these statistics are pre-March this year, which obviously things have changed since the beginning of March. But this first statistic here is an important one, and as a business owner, you need to provide a mechanism for customers to leave you reviews online. And ideally that's through a independent third-party website rather than directly onto your website. And the two biggest ones that most people know of are Facebook and Google Business, but there's also hospitality and entertainment websites such as oh gosh, it slipped from my mind. Zomato and places like that. So, you know, restaurants have their review sites, accommodation had TripAdvisor. There we go. The blank is gone. TripAdvisor. So you need to provide a platform for people to leave a review for you online. I'm just admitting someone else here. Online marketplaces in 2017 almost doubled in size, and Australia Post was predicting that this year that 10% of all items bought in Australia would be bought online. Now, statistics about what's happened since the beginning of March are fairly thin on the ground, but everything I could find was suggesting that e-commerce has basically gone up 50 to 100% since the beginning of March. The usage of social media platforms such as Facebook and Instagram have gone up somewhere between 20 and 40%, and LinkedIn has gone up more than 50%. So, you know, all these numbers that I'm talking about here, you can just double and triple them in the current situation that we're in. So why do you need to be online? Well, obviously these days for most businesses, being online is the only way to be found. There is no foot traffic at the moment, but prior to the current situation, you know, about 2/3 of potential consumers wouldn't consider working with the business if they couldn't find them online. And, you know, the situation that I like to relate to people is if you're a plumber and you've got a beautifully sign written van that's motoring along down the road, and someone sees Mark's Plumbers and they think, well, we need a plumber, and they jump on their phone in the car and they Google them up and they can't find them, the opportunity is lost. Okay, they're not going to hunt around any more than that. From a competitive point of view, businesses certainly here in South Australia have a real opportunity to outperform other small businesses with not much effort. So, you know, about 80% of searches start with a Google search, but only about 1/5 of businesses in Australia do active search engine marketing. And by search engine marketing, I mean either paying for Google ads or optimizing the text content of their website to better suit what people are searching for. Most businesses don't have a mobile friendly website, and yet most consumers search on a mobile phone. Okay, so, you know, there's a problem there. And this 54% number of consumers that rely on active social media has actually grown. That statistic's a little bit old, but a fairly well-known behaviour amongst consumers these days is to jump from a website to socials and just see what the business is up to and see if they're active and if they're communicating with their customers. So before we get online, it's well worth taking a step back and doing a quick audit of, I guess, the amount of time that you've got. So not only resources in terms of the time available, but how quickly you want to get online. What are your technical skills? And this is, I see, you know, perhaps 300 or 400 small businesses a year, and technical skills is always something that they bring up as a barrier to them getting online. And there are ways that you can get online that don't require a great deal of technical know-how. So there's no need to sort of leap out there and get a full service web developer, you know, if you're in a hurry. You need to work out what your costs are going to be and whether you can actually meet those. And then, you know, let's say that we do contract a full service web developer. Have you managed a project like that before? Do you understand how to define the requirements with the web developer? Do you understand how to define the deliverables? Do you understand how to pay someone sensibly for that sort of work? So, you know, again, I see lots of people leaping into web development projects, but then, you know, halfway through the project, they don't understand what they're getting. They don't understand what the web developer is doing. They don't understand when or how much they're going to have to pay. And they don't understand what the ongoing costs with the web developer are going to be. So understanding what capabilities you have personally and what capabilities your business have is essential before you leap into doing this. You could easily make the wrong decision. You got to have a reason to be online. In my business, every one of our digital footprints has a reason for being. Some of them are the same, some of them are different. So for us, our website is there for two reasons. It's to attract search engine traffic and to allow people to buy things. Facebook is for us to engage with our customer base and keep them enthusiastic and keep them informed about what's going on. And Google Business is almost purely there as a repository of customer reviews. That's where we send people when they want to leave a review. Okay, that's how we maintain our online reputation. So if you're going to set up a digital presence, then have a reason for doing it. Write that down, write down what the goal of that digital presence is, and that will drive how you use it and how you build it. So there's a number of goals there and there's plenty more than just these ones, but the obvious ones are sales, bookings, communications, technical support, search engine magnet. So that's to attract natural search engine traffic, Google searches if you like, local search engine visibility. And that's, we'll talk about that next, but that's to promote the visibility of your business to people who are geographically close to you and using some sort of device to search for your product or service. Some people just use it for news updates, just to indicate that they're a living, breathing business and to keep people informed about what's going on. And then a platform like Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn can be used by a business or an individual to build themselves up as an authority figure. Okay, so they can take part in groups and forums and things like that, answer questions, position themselves, and, you know, say, well, you know, this person is the expert in this field. Okay, and that happens on social media a lot more than what you realise. So here's what I think are the three key ways of getting online. The first one is Google My Business or Google Business or Google Maps. That's what you see when you search for a cafe or a plumber near me or an electrician near me or a physiotherapist or something like that. Google has quite a bit of smarts put back into the search engine, and any sort of product or service-based search where they believe you're searching for something to purchase, they'll drop into what they call Google Business mode, where you'll see the Google Business results in the search results. We'll show you what that looks like shortly. Obviously, there's social media is the other way to get online. And then the one that I think is amongst the most important is having a website. I'm a great believer that everyone should have a website. I know that a lot of service businesses run solely off of socials, which is fine. It works, but if Facebook or Instagram or whatever shut down tomorrow, or shut down your business page, or, you know, introduce a subscription plan for the visibility of your business page, then, you know, you're in a fair amount of trouble. And I think a website is a more effective way of building a sustainable and lasting presence on the internet. So everyone needs to be on Google Business. I don't know who here is on Google Business, but everyone needs to be there. it's the number one player in the local search engine visibility game. And you can see here really what you will see down the left-hand side here. This is the plumber results, the Google Map results if you're searching for a plumber. And those results appear above people's websites. Okay, so these Google business results outrank websites. The only way to get above the Google business results is to pay for Google ads. So I often say to people, you know, you listen to me talk and you go away from talking to me. If there's only one thing that you remember and you think everything else was rubbish, it's that Google business is the number one thing that you should be doing. Okay, because more and more consumers never get past the Google business results. Okay, they drill straight through these results to people's websites or people's booking pages. They never end up on anyone else's website. So, there we go here. I'm just reading people's questions here. Is a Facebook page more valuable than a website? Can be, yes and no. I think not, but it can be. Heather targets executives. So I've spoken to Heather a few times before. So Facebook isn't the best for her, but LinkedIn search certainly is. And I know that Heather's quite active on LinkedIn. And okay, Teresa, how do we get onto Google Business? We're going to do that. We're going to do that now. So Mike, do you know who that background noise is coming from? I might just mute everyone.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to suggest while I was muted. So
yeah, I'll just mute everyone. AVFS admin, it was you. Right, so please put any questions in the chat box, please. So how do you get onto Google Business? You go to business.google.com. It's a free business listing service. It's more than a set and forget service. Google wants you and your customers to use it actively. And you personally can use it actively by posting status updates, posting the latest offers from your business, posting your products and your services that you offer. Your customers can post images to your listing. So, you know, the whole taking a picture of their meal and posting that up, or taking a photo of your shop and posting that up. And I think the most important way that it is used is through customers leaving reviews. Okay, and those reviews are given high visibility in the Google business listings. So you can see here, for example, the RAA Modbury, those reviews appear, even though that's an ad, those reviews do appear at the top there. Okay, and you'll see these other listings here that the review section appears immediately below the title. So, you know, as humans, we're drawn to those 5 stars. We tend to just be drawn to it. Okay, so, you know, I keep emphasizing how important it is to get reviews. You use Google Business as a way of customers leaving reviews for you. It allows you to be found on Google Maps, and Google Maps is when people are using the Map app on their phone, and people can contact you directly from your Google Business listing. They can dial you directly. So here we've got this call button next to each one of these items. If you're using a phone, you can just touch on that and they'll ring you directly. So in our business, we get sort of anywhere between 2 and 5 calls a day from our Google Business listing. Okay, and you can track those statistics. They're all built into Google Business. So how do you get on there? You just go and sign up. You need to sign up with a business name, address, and phone number. Google's quite strict about the business name. So if you are Mark's Plumbing, then sign up as Mark's Plumbing. Don't sign up as Mark's Plumbing Adelaide or Mark's Plumbing Tea Tree Gully or something like that in an effort to optimize your local results. That's not going to get you anywhere. Address and phone number. And Mike would have heard me say this before, but you need to be super careful that your business name, address, and phone number is consistent across all your platforms. So make sure that the phone number is the same, the business name is the same, the address is the same. Don't call yourself shop 2 and then unit 2. Don't put the area code in front of the phone number somewhere and then not elsewhere. And the reason for that is that Google uses those addresses and business names and phone numbers as a way of identifying digital properties that belong to the same entity. Okay, so if you go and mess up your business name on Facebook and then have a different one on Google Business and then another one on your website, then Google loses that opportunity of saying, well, this Facebook belongs to Mark's Plumbing, this Google Business listing belongs to Mark's Plumbing, and this website belongs to Mark's Plumbing. Okay, and Google takes all of those properties into account when it ranks you in the search engine results and also when it ranks you in the local search results. You can use the Google Business listing to create quite a keyword-rich description for yourself, and that description should be a keyword-rich description about what you do and what you sell. Okay, no mission statements, nothing like that. Tell people in plain English what it is that you do, because Google uses that description as a trigger to show Google Business search results. And if you don't give it that opportunity, it can't. Okay, so if you are a physiotherapist that treats sports injuries, then say that you are a physiotherapist that treats sports injuries. You can use the business listing to upload branded images, product images, staff images, business images, 360-degree videos inside the business, logos, shop front elevations, all of that sort of stuff. We get somewhere between 5,000 and 15,000 image views a month from our Google Business listing, and all those images are branded. Okay, so our name gets out there through those images. So as I've said in a previous slide, you can use it to post updates and images, and the frequency of update posting should be once a week, ideally. The reason for that is that those posts disappear after a week. Images can be posted up whenever you like, but the best images are user-generated ones. And look, I've got my UCG and user-generated content. So customers can go to your Google Business listing and upload pictures of you or your premises or your products or whatever it is, okay? And that's a fantastic signal to Google that you're an active business. They'll be looking at the GPS on the person's phone when they're posting up those images, and they'll know that they're in the right location. So again, that helps boost the local search engine visibility of your business. So the two downfalls of Google Business are that, number one, Google is usually very keen to make sure that you are a real business. So there is an approval time, okay? And that time can be anywhere from sort of 2 to 4 weeks. And they usually approve you by mailing a postcard to your postal address with a verification code on it, and then you can activate the listing. At the moment, a lot of the stuff on the Google Business side of things, it has either slowed or stopped. As far as I know, activations are still moving at pace, but of course you are subject to the whims of Australia Post. Some businesses are not getting reviews actively posted to their Google Business listings, and I've been told it's because Google doesn't deem them to be critical businesses in the current situation, and they're just queuing them all up until we sort of pop out the other side, and I assume all those reviews will appear. So we've certainly had reviews placed for our business that haven't appeared. Okay, we've had several people tell us they've left them and we don't see them yet. So, Google Business, I think it's something that if you don't have one, go and set it up. If you do have one, use it actively. Okay, it only takes a few minutes a week. if you do review solicitations to your customers, send them your Google Business link so that they can leave reviews there for you. All right. So social media, you know, I shouldn't really have to explain what it is, but there's the 4 big ones in Australia. And we've just got some questions here. Can you post, or is it best for customers to post? Would there be any difference? I think, Teresa, that you should get into the habit of posting regularly yourself, okay, at least once a week. And I would say that every customer post is probably worth 20 of yours. So user-generated content across Google Business and social media is like gold. Okay, so, you know, how do you get user-generated content? The easiest way is to ask. So if someone is in your premises and they're clearly having a good time, then ask them for a review. Or if you know, they've bought a product, ask them to take a picture of it and post it to their social media or post it to Google Business. Okay. So does that answer your question? Can I curate the reviews? No, you cannot. Okay. And that is, I think, the value and sort of the curse of reviews on Facebook and Google Business is that you can't control them. So, you know, the plus side to that is that the reviews there are usually hard earned. The downside is that you can get false negatives. Okay. And there is an appeal process on both platforms to get rid of false negatives, but it's a bit hit and miss. And my suggestion is that you think about what you're going to do about that first negative review and how you're going to respond to it. And don't respond to it at 2 o'clock in the morning when you're angry. Okay, so we have a pre-written response for our first negative review. We've had our first negative review, but we got it removed. But we've pre-written our responses for those, and I suggest that every business does that. Yeah, Google Ads is a different process. Yeah, so Google Ads you can access through ads.google.com, and it's a paid pay-per-click search process, and it has a number of different aspects to it. You can run ads in different places. We don't really touch on that in this workshop, but we will be doing another workshop about Google Ads, and you're always welcome to just contact me and I can run you through Google Ads quickly. So there's the big social platforms. The big ones in Australia really are just Facebook and Instagram. The others are just around the noise, around the edges. Instagram, you're looking at about 30% of Australia's population's on Instagram, 30% of the adult population. Facebook, basically the entire adult population is there. And LinkedIn, you're talking about sort of 10 to 15% of the adult population is on LinkedIn. So we talked about goals for digital platforms, and there's some goals for social media. You can use it to build an audience and stay connected with that audience. You can use it to take bookings, and you can use it for customer communication. And then, you know, as an indication that you're a living, breathing business. Some businesses just use it for that. What determines if you are a real business? Now, there's a good question. I still don't feel like I run a real business, so I'm not sure. At the end of the day, Google just determines that if you have a physical address that they can send something to, then you're a real business. As far as I know, they don't do back checks on business names and things like that. But I do know that they have human eyes looking at the business names that are put up there, and that if you try to keyword stuff them and things like that, then you'll get taken out. Okay, and you know, I guess the big danger with social media and Google Business is it's their sandpit, and you've got to play by their rules. So you just try to play within those rules. So what's the good thing about social media? Well, no, you don't. You can enter a physical address when you first set up the listing. And this is in response to Andre. You can set up a physical address when you first set up the listing, and they'll mail the postcard to that address. When you activate the listing, you can then change it to what's called an areas serviced listing. And basically you just put a dot on the map and then draw a circle around it and say, well, I service everyone within 25 miles of this location. Okay. And you can put multiple dots on the map and do multiple circles. We used to run our business that way. It's good from a privacy point of view, but the downside is that you lose that really strong local visibility boost because you don't have a physical address. Okay, you don't get map searches, and you don't necessarily trigger many of those, plumber near me searches. All right. So positives to social media: it's free, huge audience, low learning curve. We're all on it. We all know how to use it. There's you have to explain that one to me later, Teresa. There's potentially no ongoing costs. You can easily post up different types of media, pictures, videos, audio files, and things like that. They take care of all of that. There are free plugins for extra functionality. So on Facebook, for example, there's appointment taking apps, okay, that people can leave appointments for. There's chat bots that you can install for free on Facebook. There's free competition plugins. And Instagram's the same. There's plugins there, or there's apps that you can use outside of Instagram and LinkedIn to automate things inside of it. So I don't know if anyone's ever used Buffer or Hootsuite or anything like that, but they're social media automation platforms where you can schedule posts to multiple social channels at once. So, and you can run, I think Hootsuite, you can run 3 different social channels for free. So the free options are quite powerful. And the other thing is that all of the social platforms have some sort of paid advertising. Okay, so Instagram and Facebook and WhatsApp all run on the same Facebook advertising platform. LinkedIn has their own advertising platform, and they're reasonably easy to get into. Okay, you can get up and running fairly quickly. I guess you've just got to be careful that you're not just getting up and running to give them money for no particular reason fairly quickly. So you've got to use it in a targeted fashion, obviously. The downside to socials is that there's a limited format to the type of post that you can make. So, obviously on Insta, you can only have videos up to 60 seconds. On Facebook, they prefer you to have native videos. So, linking to YouTube videos doesn't work very well. So you're subject to algorithm changes. So has anyone found that ads on, yes, Claire, I've had very good success with ads on social media. The algorithm is how these social media platforms work out who gets to see your posts. Okay, so 8 years ago, pretty much everyone that followed your page on Facebook would see your posts. Okay, but over the last several years, that percentage of followers has sort of gone like this, to the point now where the typical organic reach for a social media post is about 5 to 10%. Okay, so that means if you've got 500 followers on Insta or Facebook or LinkedIn or whatever, then, somewhere between 50 and 100 people will see that post. And, they say it's because they don't want people's news feeds being clogged up with stuff that they don't want to see. But I think we all probably think it's because they want you to pay for ads. So, we'll wear the conspiracy theory hat and say that's why. But, that's, again, it's their platform. We've got to play by their rules. And because of the algorithm, the organic reach can be low. And it means that for platforms like Insta and LinkedIn and Facebook, that you really need to think about having followers in the low thousands to really be talking to anyone. Okay, if you've got that sort of 300 to 500 followers, you're not really talking to many people. Okay, it sounds like a good number, but you're not talking to many people. Right, so The quickest and easiest way to get a website up on the internet at the moment is if you've got an active Google business listing and you can deploy a free site from your Google business listing. Okay, so if you've got an active Google business listing, you can go and register a domain at NetRegistry in about 90 seconds. And in 20 minutes, you can have a website. Okay, and it's all free. It's all available inside your Google business listing. If you're on Google Business and you're looking at it from a desktop computer, then the menu down the left-hand side, it's the bottom left menu item. It's just called website. Okay, you use their website builder and it automatically shows customer reviews. It automatically shows your posts and status updates and latest products. And it automatically shows a map. It automatically shows your phone number. It automatically shows your street address. The phone number is touchable, so people can ring you directly. The map icon is touchable so that it pops up in Google Maps or Apple Maps or whatever it is that your map icon is. And it has a dirty, great, stonking call to action button right in the middle of the landing page. Okay, so if anyone finds your Google business website, then it's obvious what it is that you want them to do, and it can be call, it can be book, it can be learn more. There's half a dozen different options that you can pick from. If you don't want your own domain, and I've yet have anyone convince me that you don't need your own domain, but if you don't want your own domain, you can get a free domain. Okay, and I think it's it's like mark.business.site or something like that. It's some sort of generic domain that Google gives you, but you can link it to a third-party domain. Okay, so I can have marksplumbing.com pointing at my Google business site. So if you don't have a website and you've got a Google business listing and you want to get a site up quickly, then head over to Google Business and set one up there. It is dead simple. So what's the positives? It's free, very quick and easy to set up. You need almost no technical skill to do it. The site is mobile friendly out of the box. And remember what we said about most searches starting on a mobile phone. And when I say it acts as another funnel, it's another way that people can be attracted to you online. Okay, so if all you've got is Facebook and a Google business listing, then this is a way of getting up a site for effectively $15 for a domain. All right, and no ongoing fees after that. Having a website helps boost your local search visibility. And, we talked about consistency of business name, address, and phone number. Because Google on the Google business site sucks that information directly from your Google business listing, it is 100% consistent. Okay, you don't need to check it because it is just 100% consistent. The fact that the Google business site includes direct contact email buttons, direct phone number buttons, and direct map buttons means that people will find you really easily. Okay, they don't need to hunt around for a contact page. They don't need to do a separate Google Map search. They don't need to hunt around for a phone number or copy and paste it or whatever it is that people have to do. The content on the site changes as your Google business listing content changes. So as you post updates and new products or get new reviews, then that pops up on your website. Okay, and from a search engine point of view, that's a great thing. To have content that changes consistently is a great thing. It can be a nice way of branding yourself if you've got a proper domain. I'd rather be marksplumbing.com than mark1283.google.site or whatever it is. And there really is no ongoing maintenance or security concerns. And when we get to WordPress, we'll just delve into that. Google takes care of everything. Okay, they take care of whatever it is that goes on in the background, all the servers and all the secure certificates and all that sort of stuff. They just take care of all of it, and you don't have to pay for it. You don't have to worry about it. The downside, there's a very limited number of formats that you can pick from. Okay, and there's a very limited number of color schemes that you can pick from, and you can't really customize them. You can't embed YouTube videos. You can't have slideshows, all that sort of neat stuff that you see on websites. You can't do any of that. The actual text on the site that you can control is extremely limited. Okay, so there's no paragraphs of free text or free about us sections or anything like that. Okay, it is a one-page site, so no contact me page, no sitemap, no shop page. It's a one-page site. It's controlled by Google. And does anyone here remember Google Plus? Google Plus was a thing. Okay, it was Google's social network, Google's business social network. Yes, Claire, if you want to add content to it, you do it through Google Business. It's all controlled through Google Business. Well, Google Plus was the next big thing, but now Google Plus doesn't exist anymore. So everyone who spent, years posting up content and material to their Google Plus listing is all gone. So this is the trouble with being dependent on someone else. And the one downside, if you don't have a Google Business account now, is that you need to wait for that to be activated before you can create your website. All right. So next step up, because I'm all about having a website. Google Business, free, really quick, 20 minutes, half an hour, you're up and running. The next step up is a hosted content management system like Wix. And apologies to Wix for picking on them, but there are others. Wix and Squarespace are the two biggies, okay? But I've just picked on Wix. Basically, what they are is what's called a hosted content management system. And a content management system is really sort of a bit technical for describing that software that's up there on the internet somewhere that you use to manage all of your website content, upload new pictures, create new pages, edit the text that's there, control the format. That's what a content management system is. How it does it, smoke and mirrors, I don't know, but they all do it. It's a hosted content management system because Wix control the computers that the websites live on. They control all the security on the websites that those websites live on. They control all the content management software. They control all of the plugins and themes and things like that are all available to you. So there is a free plan available. You can't host your own domain. You get one of these funny, mark1283.wix.site URLs. There's paid plans, and generally the more you pay, the more flexibility that you get. There's a drag and drop website builder, so you can pick from a range of templates, different types of templates, and the templates are business type based. So they have templates for hairdressers and templates for beauty salons and templates for physiotherapists and templates for shops and gift stores. And so there's a whole bunch of free templates available. You can just use those templates out of the box. If you want to sort of dive in a bit deeper, you can control a lot of the coloring and styling and the order that things are and things like that, but you don't have to. And you can create a very nice looking website that is mobile friendly and contains all of the information that most businesses are ever going to need in sort of a few days. Okay, if you can drive Microsoft Word, then you'll probably be able to drive Wix. That's the kind of level of expertise, all right? And not like having to understand how tables work in Microsoft Word, because no one understands that, but, some level up towards that. And you can, as I said already, link it to a custom domain if you want to. So positives, it's free or low cost, $10 a month US. And look, $10 a month is US is what, $16 or $15 Australian. It's not a lot. If anyone here used to advertise on Yellow Pages, you'd know how much that was a year, and it was certainly a lot more than $15 a month. They can host your email for you. So, contact@marksplumbing.com. They can take care of all that for you as well. All of their templates are mobile friendly. They take care of all the security and ongoing maintenance and things like that. You don't need to worry about any of that techie stuff. There's simple e-commerce built into it, so you can take payments through PayPal and some credit cards and things like that. There's a little shop module in there. There's a booking engine in there, and you can create a multiple page site. And I'm a I'm a total nerd, and for years I used to just do things the hard way because I wanted to learn how to really make things work. Since I've been at Polaris and I've worked with so many different businesses, I've realised how stupid that was. Wix is a really easy way of creating an effective website and then not having to worry about it because it will just keep working. And if one thing working online has taught me in the last 20 years is that, if you don't take that approach, things just stop working. Okay, you'll have a site there for 6 months and you'll come back and it will just be dead and you don't know why, because some software has expired somewhere or some servers run out of whatever it is. Wix, you don't need to worry about that. They take care of all of that. Okay. The negatives are that the really good functionality is pay to play. Okay, so the good stuff with good calendar integration and, interaction with MYOB and various inventory control systems and accounting systems and things like that, it's all pay to play. And that adds to the monthly costs. And there isn't infinite flexibility in terms of design. So the real web nerds out there that are worried about sort of pixel to pixel accuracy and things like that, then Wix isn't for you. Okay, and the search engine optimization people that are worried about, every byte of code on the website, then Wix isn't for you because you can't control that. But I think for 90% of businesses, small businesses, it's as good as you're going to get. If you're selling stuff online, so we've been selling stuff online through our retail business for, I don't know, since 2009 or something. And we do it all with WordPress and WooCommerce, if anyone's heard of that. And it works really well. Every now and again, it stops working for no particular reason because something's gone out of date, exactly what I said. But if I had my time over, I would set up an e-commerce shop on Shopify every day of the week. I wouldn't even think about anything else. Okay. Shopify is one of the world's biggest e-commerce platforms. And it's another one of these hosted content management systems where they run all the servers, they run all the content management stuff, they take care of all the security, but it's a specialist e-commerce platform. Okay. Only paid plans, and they start at US $29 a month. And there's another one of these things that has a drag and drop website builder. Okay, you get to pick from a range of free templates, drag things around, build your website that way. There's paid templates, and some of the biggest shopping sites that you can think of probably run on Shopify. Okay, they run everything from people that sell $100 a month to people that sell $1 million a day. So plus side to it, fully featured e-commerce. So, everything from physical products, virtual products, takeaway, all that sort of stuff. Anything that you can sell online, they can handle it. A fully featured payment gateway. So, I talked about WordPress and WooCommerce. We can accept PayPal and bank deposit. And, if I can twist my neck far enough, probably credit cards one day, but I cannot for the life of me figure it out. Shopify accepts every credit card that you could think of out of the box. Okay, they accept everything, and you don't need to do anything about it. It just works. All their templates are mobile friendly. You can customize the templates in terms of color and layout and things like that. Like I said, they can handle everything from 10 visitors a day to 10 million a day. Okay, they've got the servers to cope with it, and you don't need to worry about it. Their security is fantastic. They take care of all of it. You can set up a full inventory control system in there with different categories and stock levels and stuff like that. And you can link it to your accounting system. So you can link it to Xero and things like that, and automatic shipping calculators and everything you can think of, they can do it. There's a blogging engine in there. Their live support is fantastic. I've sat with people that are using Shopify and said to them, log into the live support and ask them how you move this block from here down to here. And 30 seconds later, the tech support person has done it for them. Okay, and that's what you get for the $29 a month. Okay, you get fantastic live support. The negatives are that it is US $29 a month, which is about $44 Australian. The really nice templates cost money. The super duper advanced functionality like product configurators and things like that do cost money as well. But, you know, for most of us, that advanced stuff isn't really that necessary. So that's Shopify. I think Shopify is great. There's, as I said, a lot of the businesses you wouldn't even realize they're on Shopify. Thank you, Heather. Is it easy to set up the website? What sort of website, Claire? We've talked about 3 different platforms so far. So yeah, the Google Business is really easy. The Wix is less easy. Shopify is less easy again. And then the last option is even more difficult. And, you know, that's why I've ordered them this way in terms of sort of ease of setting up. So this is the last website option that I'm going to talk about today. It's WordPress. I can't see everyone. I wish I could see everyone because then I could see if... Oh, hang on. There's everyone. Everyone put their hand up if they've heard of WordPress. Yeah, so that's everyone who I can see. So WordPress hosts somewhere between 20 and 30% of the world's websites. Okay, it's the #1 content management system that's out there. It's free. And I think that's why everyone gravitates towards it. Everyone who thinks that, you know, they know how to drive a computer will go, well, we got to get WordPress because, you know, I'm a computer geek and I can install it and do whatever I want to do. The cheapest way of setting it up is to get what's called a bare bones web hosting account. So you sign up for $5 or $10 a month, and then you can install WordPress on the web hosting account, and then you're away. You do need a domain. So, you know, theoretically you could get set up for $5 a month plus $15 for a domain. So, and that's why I did it, because I thought it was cheap. But you pay for that longer term. So what's good about it? It is low cost. Anything, and I mean anything that you can think of that you can do online, someone has built that functionality into WordPress. Okay, you want to build a Facebook clone, there's a WordPress theme and plugins that'll do that. You want to do e-commerce, there's WordPress themes and plugins that'll do that. Let me think of some of the odder plugins. Okay, I built a website for a funeral director. You want a online testimonial system and be able people to leave virtual bunch of flowers. There's a plugin for that. Okay, so it's the reason why there's all this functionality is that WordPress is open source. That means that everyone can see all the code that's in there, and it's what's called extensible, which means that you can expand on it and build on it, you know, reasonably easily. You can control every aspect of the way the website looks. Okay, if you don't like the fact that your pictures are 1091 pixels from the top of the page, then you can make them 1092 if that's what floats your boat. There are e-commerce systems built into it. So the biggest one is WooCommerce. So that's an e-commerce system with inventory control and orders and payment gateways and things like that. Everyone has done what you want to do on WordPress before. Okay, so there's never anything on WordPress that someone hasn't done before, and someone has done a video about how to do it, or written an article about how to do it, or posted up a YouTube video about how to do it. So, you know, how do you get solutions to things that don't work in WordPress? You go to Google and you type in what doesn't work, and then you get this many search results about how to fix it, and hopefully one of them works. There are a lot of free support resources for it. And if you do want to build a website in WordPress, it is very easy to find developers in South Australia or in Adelaide or anywhere around the world that will build you a site in WordPress. Okay, it's not hard to find people that can do this work for you. If you need maintenance, there's people that will do maintenance. If you need plugins installed, there's people that will do that. If you need a custom theme, there's people that will do that. And it's really easy to find them. What's the negatives? It does take a surprising amount of technical skill to get up and running. The learning curve is like that. Okay, it is like that. So you can get a site, basic site running reasonably quickly, but are your header images in the wrong place? Well, you know, if you don't know what you're doing, there goes a day trying to work out that. Okay. It does take a long time to get the site the way you want it. So, you know, for me, a week or 2 weeks to get the template right, to get it the way I like it. A week or 2 weeks, it's 40 to 80 hours work. And I kind of know what I'm doing. The good plugins, and the plugins are these extensible things that make, you know, to make WordPress do wonderful things, like WooCommerce. So WooCommerce itself is free, but if you want an advanced shipping calculator that says that, you know, if I've got 5 of these and 4 of those and 2 of these and the person's in the USA, then make these shipping options available to them, then that plugin costs you $100 a year. Okay. Now, the free stuff, oh, cool, it's free. The trouble with the free stuff is that the authors lose interest in it and it stops being developed. And then you find out 18 months later that there was a security flaw in it and your site gets hacked and everything falls over. Okay, so, you know, the free stuff sometimes has a false economy to it. And the paid stuff can be quite expensive. You can easily, you know, on a good site, you could easily have $800 to $1,000 a year of subscription costs for plugins, quite easily. There is time required for site maintenance and ongoing maintenance, to making sure that the installation is up to date, making sure all the plugins are up to date. You know, they roll out new major versions of WordPress about once a year, and you'll update your version of WordPress and then WooCommerce won't work anymore. Okay, so then you have to update WooCommerce, and then you find out that your custom templates for WooCommerce don't work anymore because they've stopped offering certain features in the new version or changed the names of it. So, you know, there's real, I make it sound terrible. It's not really that terrible, but, you know, there's real problems that can happen with these sites. Okay, and too many people leap into WordPress with both feet and think, oh, this is the best thing in the world, and it ain't. Often the web hosts don't include a secure certificate, so you have to buy one separately, and that can cost anywhere from $80 to $200 a year. That's HTTP versus HTTPS. Okay, you have to have one of those. Well, you don't have to have one, but Google wants you to have one. So that can be an extra cost that WordPress doesn't take into account. Security is a real concern. You know, like I said, 20 to 30% of the internet is on WordPress. If I'm a hacker and I'm going to write scripts to try and break into web servers, I'm going to pick popular things to target. All right. And WordPress has a footprint. Like, I can look at a site and look at the code and tell you it's a WordPress site. And so people write code to troll the internet looking for that sort of stuff, looking for old versions of WordPress that have known vulnerabilities, and then attack them. And then they fall over. So it does happen. It's happened to me, and it's happened to lots of people that I know. There is a hosted versions of WordPress. So I think I linked to WordPress.org. So WordPress.org actually have another website called WordPress.com. And WordPress.com is the fully hosted version of WordPress, where it's like Wix, but WordPress. And they give you like a really cut down, feature limited version of WordPress that you can't break. It's not infinitely flexible, and you can't sort of upload plugins that your dodgy cousin built, because there's only sort of an approved list of plugins that you can use. And it can be quite expensive, like $40 or $50 or $60 a month. But if you're really sort of keen on WordPress, that for me is, and you're not a technical guru, that for me is the way to go, is to go for something like that on WordPress.com or WP Engine or one of those sorts of things. And I think there's a bonus slide, how to get traffic. So I will email everyone a PDF of this, so you don't need to sort of rush and scribble that down. So that's all the ways that I could think of that you can get traffic to a website or to socials or whatever. Generally, just building a digital platform doesn't get people coming towards it unless you're a celebrity or something. So once you've actually built these properties, you need to actually think about how you're going to get people to actually move towards them. you would know that if you build a Facebook page, you always seem to get all your friends and family, and every business in Adelaide has somewhere between 100 and 300 followers, and that's usually their friends and family. And getting that push past that is hard, and you need to actually do active things to get that happening. And it's the same with websites and things like that. And there's a whole bunch of ways that you can do it. If some of those don't make sense, you can just shoot me an email or give me a phone call, and I'll explain what I'm talking about. Andre sounds like he's been having a good time with WordPress. And that's it really. So there's a summary. Everyone needs to be on Google Business. I think everyone needs to be on social media too in some form or another, but only if you're going to use it actively. Don't sign up to a social account if you're not going to use it. Better to have one that you do well in than sort of 4 that nothing happens with. Will Polaris be running a webinar on marketing out sites? We're doing, we did a Facebook advertising one a couple of weeks ago. We're doing a getting started with WordPress in a couple of weeks. We're doing a building a Facebook audience next week. And I think we're doing a Google Ads in June. Okay, so the building a Facebook audience one, if you're not booked into that, you should book into that. There's about nine things that you can do to sort of get people following you on Facebook. Okay, and do you know how many people usually do? That one, which is friends and family, and they never get to any of the other 8. Okay, and none of them are very hard or very expensive either. So if you're the right sort of business, then they can be quite effective.
Mark, Andrea had a second part to that question, that if she already has a domain but not using it yet, can I create a Google My Business account?
Yeah. So you don't have to buy your domain from Google, and I'd always suggest that you don't. It's always best to keep all your domains in a separate, what's called a domain registrar, whether that be Net Registry or Namecheap or GoDaddy or something like that. Keep all your domains registered there, and always have your websites hosted somewhere else. So whether that be Google or Wix or Squarespace or Weebly or WP Engine or whatever, and then you point your domain at the website wherever it is by changing your DNS settings. Okay? Because the reason why you don't necessarily want to register your domain with the web host is if they go under or they're jerks and you want to move, then you can just move. Okay, and you don't need to try and beg to get your domain back off of them, which happens. Social media, everyone needs to be on social media. And then they're the options for the website. If you've got a Google business listing and you don't have a website, get a Google business site up and running. Get a domain, get a Google business site up and running. Take a day to do that. Have a breath. Then think about, whether that's enough, whether that meets the goals that you want for your website, and then examine one of these other platforms. And when you're ready, you can build up a site on one of those and then just point your domain at the new site and ditch the Google site. Okay. One new message. Right. And that's it. So we've got questions. I'll ask those in a second. We do offer digital mentoring and a free coaching program through here. We run a 3-month coaching program for 6 businesses where we meet once a month and set goals for ourselves, and I educate you along websites, social media, and local search visibility. You get homework, come back next month, tell everyone why you haven't done it, I make you look silly, and then hopefully the next month you do it. Can be super useful, especially if there's only one of you. If you're just a sole trader, then it can be difficult to know what the right thing to do is. So I try to give you sort of actionable things to do, non-techie things to do. It's free. We're opening up another one at the beginning of June, so what's not to like? We do offer a paid mentoring service for digital marketing, and we also run monthly digital marketing appointments for people that are in the city of Tea Tree Gully. You can do it yourself, or you can contract an agency to do this for you. So that's the options really.
And I've just done a Facebook post on the Polaris page.
So I'm just going to unmute everyone. Does anyone have any questions? I can't unmute Nan. I can't unmute Heather. And there we go. So does anyone have any questions for me?
No.
No? Too much information?
Mark, I really benefited from a session with you, I think it was early last year, and thank you very much again. You gave really good advice. I'm now rebranding and I've started a new company and just in the process of developing a new website. Am I able to come back to you for some feedback again?
Always. Always. You know where I am, Heather.
Thank you.
So you've still got my card, I hope. If not, you can just reply to that email that I sent earlier today with the booking link for this Zoom meeting. Anyone else?
Good.
No? All right. Well, thank you. Thank you everyone for coming. It's been a pleasure. I've enjoyed myself. I hope you've all found it valuable.
Yeah, thank you. Great.
Mike has included a link, a feedback link in the chat window. It's a bit.ly link. If you could cut and paste that into a browser window and give us some feedback, that would be super helpful for us. We're always looking for feedback and what we could do better.
Yeah.
And if there's any sort of topics that you think would be useful, then let us know and we'll see about developing some content and holding another workshop like this for that.
Okay.
Okay.
Great.
All right. And how's everybody going with their JobKeeper stuff? I think Sharon, you're an accountant. You'd be very, very busy.
People all over it, yes. I think I probably know more than the ATO. I think I do anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty hard to keep up with the changes there.
Certainly is.
Yeah. All right, fantastic. There's been some great chat. So well done, everybody. Thank you, Mark. Another good presentation. I'm always learning, and we're trying to apply that to Polaris as well. And I just found I couldn't log on to our Google account, so I need to check our password for that.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, all.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, thank you.
Hope to see you again. Bye.
Bye.